Hey there, Laura Wood. It's Fit for 40. It's the campaign to get fit and healthy for my 40th next year. And as part of that, I've invited Gillian and Connell from Inside Out Nutrition into my house to do a bit of an expose on my cupboards. We've done my fridge and my freezer, and now we're going to do dry store. Gillian,
great.
Thank you for coming here today.
Let's have a look and see what you've got in here.
I genuinely today, I know I said this when I got here, but I actually didn't do any fixing up of the cupboards because I just thought there's no point. So also the stuff that's in it is generally the stuff that's in it. What I have for breakfast actually is, I actually just tend to make up porridge and I get bags of raisins, mixed fruit and nuts and stuff and throw them in.
Absolutely.
So I just have oats and that's what I would have in work. We don't have cooking facilities in East Coast, so I just bring that in and have some of that in the morning.
So the nice thing about
fruit.
Yeah, I mean the nice thing about that is there's no added sugar to that.
Yeah, it's basically got a little bit of fruit and nuts and everything in it. Now I bought one bag that had bananas and stuff and I thought, oh god, they're probably a little bit sugary, but sure, you need a bit of variation. I can't have the cranberries every time or whatever.
And you know, you only get a couple of the chips in each bowl that you have, so it's not like you're having a heap of banana chips. You know, so nice for variety. Really nice that you're making that yourself.
Eggs. In fairness, I love eggs, and Bush Farm up in Kilquaid, the Burns. I go to them all the time to get my eggs, and they're delicious.
Nothing like fresh
There's
eggs.
nothing like fresh eggs, literally. So I do eat a lot of eggs. We all do.
So you can have 7 eggs a week. Really, in sort of.
I might go over that a little bit. I'd say, yeah.
That's
it. I thought that was a bit of a fable. It's true though, is it? You should only have 7 eggs a week.
7 eggs are the recommendations,
right?
Absolutely, and even for people who have high cholesterol as well.
Okay.
I mean, there is some cholesterol in the yolk, but it isn't actually the cholesterol in the yolk that will cause high blood cholesterol. It's the cholesterol, or it's the saturated fat in the likes of your pies and pastries and biscuits and stuff like that causes high cholesterol. Okay. So we can have sort of 7-8 eggs a week is fine. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, like drinking chocolate, I looked at this recently and nearly had a heart attack, literally. That one in fairness I don't have, that was the kids. But I was like, I might have a hot chocolate in the evening. And then take a look at this, like, I looked, well firstly to look into it. Like, I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's essentially a big thing of sugar.
Yeah.
So is that horrifying me now, isn't that?
So again, we look per 100 grams and this is pretty horrific. And fat-wise, it's not too bad, there's 5 grams, but it's mainly made up of sugar. And it's interesting, the very first ingredient on it is sugar, not even cocoa powder. Yeah, not even the cocoa powder, which you think should be the first ingredient. So which is sugar per 100 grams is 78. You know, so
nearly all of it.
Yeah, basically.
What's the cocoa?
So the cocoa doesn't even. Cocoa salad's 25% minimum.
Oh wow,
that's pretty very little.
Okay, so what's the alternative?
The alternative would be going for a healthy option hot chocolate. You know, like option in any of those.
Okay, are they grams? They're still quite sugary though, are they? Or are they sweetener?
They have sweetener. They tend to have sweetener in them, and you make them up with water as well. Whereas this, you make up with milk, and I suppose you're adding more sugar again to it.
Because the other one I got was this, which was a little bit more pricey, and I saw the Sweet Freedom and thought, oh, that's brilliant. You know,
But then when you actually read it, you see it says that it's 100% natural, which would make you think it's amazing. But then when you look at it, it's got natural fruit extracts, apples, grapes, carob, which is basically just sugar.
Right.
Carob is.
So it's hiding. The labels are always hiding stuff, aren't they?
So we need to be really careful here. So per 100 grams of which is sugar is 50 grams per 100 grams. So it's sugary, you know. So, and again, just, you know, will a teaspoon do? You know, lots of people would put 2 or 3 teaspoons in before you know it.
Probably,
So you'd be better off using something like the low options ones, or you could use something like cocoa nibs, cacao powder or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe add a little bit of stevia sweetener or something like that if you wanted a bit of
Also, a lot of people are into dark chocolate, but I'm just not into it. Yeah. So having a square of dark chocolate in the fridge is not for me. I prefer to have a square of dairy milk or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Yeah. But I don't, of course.
Of course.
Do you hear me? Lee, I don't, I promise. Tomato sauce. I try and make my own tomato sauce. Great. It's relatively easy, I know, but just you'd come in and you're like, oh, God, do something with pasta. What are these like? Are they okay? Or there's 2 different brands that I'd have depending on where I'm shopping.
And it all comes back to trying to be label savvy. Again, you know, reading the label, seeing, you know, what are the main ingredients. Now, you'd be glad to see that tomatoes features as one of the top ingredients. But then, interestingly, third on the list is sugar. So they're adding a fair amount of sugar to these, I suppose, to make them taste good so they can sell them. Carbohydrate, of which is sugars, is 7.3. We like sugars to be less than 5 ideally, so it's heading up into the kind of medium sugar range.
So sugars is less than 5 and fat is less than 3 per 100 grams.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you've got a classic bolognese here, so again per 100 grams 9.1. So this one's higher in sugar but lower in fat. And that was the other way around.
Right, okay.
You
So
know,
they're both sort of much of a muchness insofar as not being very good.
Again, if you can, you know, fry up your own.
You're not always
garlic.
going to have time.
And even to that, like to a tin of tomatoes, I would add in maybe half a teaspoon of sugar in there just to give it a bit of sweetness. Brings out the flavour in the tomatoes too.
I've been trying to use the likes of maple syrup or something as a natural sugar if I need it for whatever, a salad dressing or something, honey or this.
Absolutely. And it is more natural, but at the end of the day, sugar is sugar. So weight for weight, honey probably has more calories than a teaspoon of sugar would. Okay, so just to watch
so you're not being really good if you have honey.
It's more natural, less processed and that, but it is still sugar at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
These type of like herb packs to put on chicken or to make with curries and stuff, you use them a good bit. How are they?
Yeah, these can be very deceptive, and I just want to see what this one is like. So per 100 grams, gosh, wow, this, I don't know what's going on here exactly. So fat, there's 7.7 grams of fat. And really you'd think that there's only, you know, herbs and spices in there, but clearly not. The other thing that's quite shocking about this is that the very first ingredient on this is salt. So let's see how much salt is in it. 21.3 grams of salt per 100 grams. Now there's 25 grams in this, so it's a lot.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot. Considering we should be only eating or having 6 grams of salt per day for adults and 3 grams for kids, you know.
Wow.
So, you know, this again, you may be better using like the likes that you have in the fridge of your pastes or even making up your own paste. They keep for a long time too in a jar.
Freeze those, because I made one recently and it was a bit time consuming. But
yeah, they can be time consuming. You probably could freeze those, absolutely. Yeah, why not?
Well, I'm aware that we'll start running out of time for this. And just the sprays, I use a lot of spray oil and I put actually balsamic vinegar in that one for salads and stuff to spray. What's that like calories wise?
So balsamic vinegar is only about 12 calories per sort of tablespoon actually.
Okay.
So really good alternative to
And what about what oil? What oil should you be using, say for salads or cooking? Is rapeseed worse than olive oil?
So rapeseed and olive oil are very, very similar.
Are they? Okay.
Very similar, and calorie wise they're very similar too. Great that you have it in a spray because it means it's controlled and you're using less, and it might be only 1 cal per spray in that case when you're spraying it. Cooking wise, we tend to use rapeseed oil for cooking because it's got higher
sunflower.
Sunflower, yeah, in small amounts, but a tendency towards rapeseed because it's a monounsaturated fat, which is better for the heart. Okay,
so rapeseed or olive oil, because olive oil can't go to too high temperature though. So
exactly, so for the salad dressings with the olive oil. Yeah.
Okay, the other things I love cooking with are soy.
Again, salty.
Yeah, but gravy. I'm a big fan of gravy. It's not pretty bad.
And when you're making your gravy up, would you make it with water, or do you make it with juices or fat, or how do you do it?
Chicken juices.
The chicken juice.
Yeah. Okay. I try and scoop a little bit of the fat out, but a little bit escapes my spoon.
So if you can, exactly like that, try and let the fat settle and scrape it away, and just use the juice as much better.
Okay. Great. All right. Okay. And then coffee.
Yeah.
Lots of coffee. Coffee, pods, coffee.
So
drink tea.
And just to be aware that coffee can give the body a false kind of thing that it thinks it's getting a boost in energy, and actually when the effects of the caffeine wear off, the energy levels plummet and then the cravings start to kick in. So not too much coffee in the day if you can, like just try and stick it to a couple of cups a day.
Okay, very briefly, pastas, try it. Isn't the secret basically browns and whole grain pastas?
Whole grain where possible.
Brown rice.
I mean,
not that, that's them.
I mean, the thing in here that I would say is you've got lots of really lovely variety. So you've got different grains, you know, different types. I mean, okay, you could be doing with a bit more whole grain, but the main thing about healthy eating and keeping the diet interesting is by just trying to use different varieties of things, you know, and use the brown rice where possible if you can. It keeps you fuller for longer.
Yeah.
There's fibre swells in the tummy, you see, and keeps you fuller for longer. It takes longer to digest too. You've got some stock there, which is pretty good. I see
Love
you've got
making
lentils,
soups.
and you can throw
Everything in soups.
Absolutely.
Can't you?
All
The
the
more you get
goodness.
into them, the more you realise they'll fill you up and stuff.
And it's all the goodness in one pan. So
Very well